What we're going to be doing today is taking some nice fresh raspberries and making some raspberry jelly out of it. Raspberries are a delicious and healthy fruit that tend to go bad fairly quickly. So different things that you could do with them is freeze them and use them in smoothies or recipes. Or I kind of like to make a nice raspberry jelly. It's very simple. So we're going to be using the water bath canning method to make our jelly. And if you're not familiar with canning, you can check out my videos. There's one on water bath canning and one on pressure canning. So your water bath canning is a method that's safe to use with your high acid foods like your pickles, your jams, your jellies, your pickled beets, anything that has a high acid content. So let's get started. So the first step in making the raspberry jelly is to thoroughly wash your raspberries in cold water. So the next step in making the raspberry jelly is to thoroughly crush your raspberries to get the juices out from them. There's no need to cook your raspberries for making the raspberry jelly. You just make them from the raw berry. Step after you've crushed all your berries is to extract the juices. So what you want to do is you want to prepare a colander with, I just use some cheesecloth, some regular cheesecloth that I purchased at the store, the grocery store. And you want to place your crushed berries into the cheesecloth and just let the juices drip through. It's not recommended to gather up your cheesecloth and squeeze the juices out because some of the pulp can come through and it doesn't make as clear of a jelly. Personally, I'm not as sure that I have the patience to let it drip, and I want more juice so I can make more jelly. So I do have a tendency to squeeze a little bit, but it all depends on what you're looking for. This is what my canning workstation looks like. I have my 2 cutting boards just to put hot items on, 2 silicone mats, the measuring cup to pour the jelly into the bottles, my bottle lifter, a magnetic wand, that red stick you see. I have a little bowl of water with a towel to wipe the rims of the bottle. So I try to get all this ready in advance, so once everything's all cooked, then I just transfer everything over to my bottling station. This is the pot I use. It's just a regular flat bottom pot. You can always buy a pot as well that has racks that come inside, especially for water bath canning. I don't have a rack that fits in the bottom of this one, so what I've done is I've created a rack. I've made a rack by simply twist tying some caps together, and then I fit it in the bottom of the pot. Then you place your jars inside the pot and you fill with water. Put on the stove top so the jars heat up slowly. So once you have your juice in your pot, you need to add your pectin crystals. And stir that well. Then turn on your heat on the stove at a fairly high temperature so you can bring this to a good rolling boil. Once this is boiling hard, we'll then add our sugar. I also turn on the heat over my bottles and over my caps. So now my juice has come to a really good hard boil, as you can see. It's a nice rolling boil. So I'm going to add the sugar. well. It smells amazing. Fresh raspberry juice. I don't collect the raspberries myself. There's some berries that I don't mind picking, but raspberries is one of those that I find really time consuming. So I kind of cheated. I bought them from a local lady who produces berries. So as you can see, it's coming back to a boil. So I'm just going to time this for 1 minute and keep stirring. You can lower your pot if you feel like it's going to boil over, but it just needs to keep going on a hard boil. As you can see, it kind of creates like a little foam on the top. And this is what you need to skim off, and you have about 5 minutes to do this. So I'm just going to set a timer so it can give me an idea. You want to clear this off your pot so that you have a nice jelly when you pour it into your jar. So to skim it off, all you really need to do is to just take your spoon and run it across just the top of the pot and grab just that foam and put it into your bowl. And I try to do this until I got pretty much most of it off. Be sure not to dip your fingers into the hot jam because that will burn to the hot jelly. If you don't remove this, it'll float to the top of your bottle when you put it in your bottle. And it's just, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing that doesn't taste good about it. It's just doesn't look as pretty. So as you can see, I got most of the foam off the top of the pot. It's pretty clear. It's a pretty good job. So now what we need to do is get these in the bottle. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer my hot bottles over here so I can pour in the jelly. So carefully with your bottle holder, you pour the water out and you transfer. I do a couple bottles at a time, 2 or 3, just so they don't cool off too much. So this is what prevents most of my messes. So I grab my measuring cup, just not necessarily to measure. So you need to fill your bottles to, and you have to leave a 1/4 inch of what's called head space to ensure that your bottles have room, like when it's processing, it's boiling, it's going to expand somewhat. So you need that extra 1/4 inch head space to let your the bottle process properly. So that's not quite a 1/4 inch. So a 1/4 inch is about, when you look at the lines on closer to the top, I guess I should say. Just ensure that you have a good enough head space. What you need to do also before you put your caps on your bottles is you need to have some water and you need to wipe off the rim of your bottles. And this is going to ensure that you have a proper seal so that your cap is going to be able to properly seal to your bottle. If you have anything that stays on the top of your lid, it could cause your bottle to not seal properly during the boiling process. You're going to take your tool, your magnet, to go get your hot caps. Your pot. You need to put your cap centered on top of the bottle. You take your lid and you turn it, and it just needs to be finger tight. You don't excessively tighten it, just fingertip tight. So we'll repeat the process with the other cap, the other bottle. Place it on the center. Take your cap, and your bottles are fairly warm, so they're pretty hot actually. So it's just fingertip tight, and you continue through the process until you've got all your bottles filled with your jam. So I've ended up with 7 jars of raspberry jelly and a little bit left over that didn't fill a bottle, so we'll just put that in the fridge so we can enjoy right away. I did have a few extra bottles, empty bottles left over, so I'm going to leave them in the pot so my bottles filled with jelly don't tip over. So I transport the bottles and I make sure that I keep them upright, and I just gently lower them into the liquid to make sure they stay up. My water's not boiling yet, which is good. So now I have to bring the pot to a full rolling boil. So now that it has come to a full rolling boil, all we need to do is to time this for 10 minutes, and then the process will be done. Once your 10 minutes are up, you need to turn off the heat and remove the cover and let it sit in the pot for 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes are up, you need to carefully remove your processed jars from your pot. Now you have to think of your arm as a crane. You can't tip it sideways to take the water off the top. You need to lift straight up and bring to exactly where you need to store your bottles. You need to remember that you have to put your bottles in a place where they are going to be untouched for 24 hours. You cannot move them around your kitchen or change them places, so you have to find a spot in your kitchen where they'll be relatively untouched for 24 hours. So carefully lift and bring, without moving as much as you can, to this spot. And you may already start to hear the popping. We'll try and listen to see if we can hear some of the bottles popping, which is indicating that they are sealing. There was one that just popped. That's what it sounds like when they're popping, when they're sealing. It's music to my ears. So there you have 7 beautiful bottles of raspberry jelly. This is a little bit of extra jam that I said that I had too much to put in a bottle. So as you can see, it's already set. So I won't have to worry that my jelly in my bottles isn't going to set, because this is pretty much all set already. I'm even going to give it a little taste test to see, because it's delicious. This is the finished product. I ended up having more than I thought I was going to have. I had enough to do 2 batches of the jelly, so I ended up with all these bottles. A lot more than I was expecting, but more is always better when it comes to canning. So if all my bottles have sealed, all the caps have nicely sealed, and the one way to check your seals on your bottles is you can lift it. Once you remove your ring, you take the ring off and you lift it from your cap, and it should stay sealed. And as I was saying, to store the bottles, you need to remove all your rings. It's the best way to store them so it doesn't create a false seal. And you shouldn't also store your bottles one on top of the other. This could also break the seal, the pressure on top. Another tip that I want to show you is the importance of writing on top of your bottles what's in your bottle. So I have a pen and I mark on top of my bottles all the time what's in them. So I'll just write raspberry jelly and I write the year, because surprisingly a year can go by fast and you may have forgotten, especially if you really get into doing a lot of canning and you have different products. It's easy to forget, oh, well, when did I actually make this product? So also if you try different variations, let's say you do a mixed berry or you do, so things start to look the same. So just to give you an example, I pulled out some stuff that I have in my pantry. So this is the raspberry jelly. It's nice and bright in here, so you can see that it's not quite the same color as these, but all of these are different products. So when you start to have a lot of different things in your pantry, this is a maple blueberry jelly, and this is my raspberry jelly. It's different colors, but after 3, 4, 5 months in the pantry, am I really going to be able to tell the difference? This is plum sauce, and this is my maple jelly, by blueberry maple jelly. So, you know, things start to look the same. In my basement where I store my food is kind of dark, and so I want to make sure that when I'm pulling out my bottles from my cabinets, from my shelves, that this is exactly the product that I was looking for, and I'm not guessing that this, I wonder what I'm eating today. What I want to show you here is what a properly sealed bottle sounds like when it's open. So this one is properly sealed. It's a mix of string beans and carrots that I have here from 2018, and I didn't write on this bottle what it was because this one's pretty obvious. So I hope you can hear this well. It's the sound of a properly sealed bottle, and I always use like a bottle opener to open these. You can do it with something else, like with a knife, like a butter knife or something like that, and lean it up against your hand, but I'm not very good at that. So this is for me what works best. So listen and see if you can hear the pop of the seal. That's what a properly sealed bottle should sound like. So I'm just going to throw a cover over these and put this in the fridge, and I'll have them for lunch. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on raspberry jelly. Please feel free to check out my other videos. Leave me comments in the comment section. Tell me what you'd like to see, and I'll try to do it myself. We'll talk again soon.